Hey, all in the interest of holding people accountable and testing what the self-proclaimed watch people and prophets are saying, I'm going to do a video on Ricky Scaparo. I think that's how he says his name. Sorry if that's wrong, Ricky. Um, he heads up Endtime Headlines, a a website that purports to be a ministry and a YouTube channel that focuses on end times and obviously, and he often talks of things that he has heard from the Lord about. And in this video, he's going to demonstrate perfectly well the the overall bad behavior and horrible doctrine at the bottom of why they do what they do. I'm using this as an example. I want to hold this man accountable. We want to see if down the road his prophecy comes true. And we also want to test what he's saying right now, whether it comes true or not. So here he is. He's just set this up with, I had a dream. It has me concerned. This is January 31st, 2022. And he says it's from the Lord.
I'll share this. It was a quick dream. It was very fast, but I know, and I'm going to explain to you why I know that it was from the Lord. It was not, many people that have watched this and listened to this, I understand there's a huge group of individuals that they call them cessationists. They're by definition, they are cessationists, meaning they don't believe that God is still speaking today through dreams and through visions, and he's not using people through the Holy Spirit to perform signs, wonders, and miracles. So that there's a whole movement out there of people that don't believe in dreams. They don't believe in visions. So they will always, they're going to scoff, they're going to laugh, they're going to mock, they're going to ridicule.
Okay, hang on, sir. So I do believe in visions, dreams, and miracles and prophecies. Yes, I do 100%. So for the record, I'm not a cessationist. I do believe they have their place, and I believe you're out of line. And I'm not mocking if I question you. Do you understand me? This is the biggest problem with these people. They know they're really kind of stuck because they don't want the accountability of prophet. But he just said God showed it to this came from God himself. He just said it with his own mouth. And then he proceeded to defend the very idea that dreams come to people from the Lord. He defended that. So he's clearly stating, my recent dream is from God. Okay? Is that not clear? And he's further setting it up so that no one can question Ricky, because if you do, you're scoffing. That's not how the prophets were treated in the Old Testament. They were treated, we're still told to test the teachers, test the spirits, test the prophets, question things, make sure these things come to pass and they're not just some guy running his mouth. So so I've set that up. He dreamed of an earthquake. Okay, he dreamed of an earthquake in the middle of the country. Oh my goodness, I can't believe this dream I had about an earthquake. As if earthquakes don't happen all the time, everywhere, and usually in the same places, sometimes in unusual places. He's saying that this is going to happen in one of the kind of normal places, right on a tectonic divide. So it's not in a strange, weird place. It's not a supernatural one. But nonetheless, he's testifying that God has given him a dream, and in the dream there was a major, major earthquake. So I've skipped a bunch of things he does to go through all that stuff, and we arrive here, and here's where I want to point out how these guys, the slithery snakiness of how these guys work.
What you're seeing on your screen, remember this, 2017, we had a solar eclipse, and it was visible from one end of America all the way across to the other. That was in 2017. And then 7 years later, which again is coming in 2024, 2 years from now, which by the way is an election year. Interesting. And this time, the visibility and where this solar eclipse is going to span is going to form an X across America. And consequently, again, interesting, consequently, the center of this solar eclipse, you can see it right there on the screen, is exactly the location of the New Madrid fault line in America. Now just stop for a second. Now, am I saying that the New Madrid's going to blow on 2024? No. But what I am saying is God many times, listen, for those, I'm going to say this, for those.
All right, I got to stop before he goes off on another tangent here. Listen to what he said. So first of all, he's imagining that there's an X because there isn't one. In 2017 2017, that did in fact happen. There was a calculated mathematical certainty, scientifically proven, naturally occurring eclipse over the U.S. It wasn't a miracle. It wasn't supernatural. It's going to happen again. We already know when. We can already pinpoint it to the minute in the future. We can look back in the past and pinpoint all those. This is natural. It's an amazing display of God's glory in his creation. People like him should leave it at that. It's not a sign. And it didn't make an X. It won't make an X. It can't make an X. It already happened in the past, and a new one is going to happen in the future. They're not happening at the same time. There's no X being formed. It's in the imagination of these people, right? Am I saying though that there's going to be an earthquake in 2024? No. Well, then what are you saying? What's the purpose of your video, Ricky? You said you had a dream from God about an earthquake in that area, the Madrid Fault, and now you're pointing out that there's this eclipse making an X in it, and this is all supposedly from God. So what's your point?
Now just stop for a second. Now, am I saying that the New Madrid's going to blow on 2024? No. But what I am saying is God many times, listen, for those, I'm going to say this, for those who have discernment, understand the times and seasons in which we're in. The sons of Issachar, they hear things, they see things, and they know that there is no coincidences in God.
There are no coincidences in God. That's true. But that doesn't mean that every connection that you imagine is from God. That doesn't mean every license plate you see with a number on it that matches another number you saw, that matches another thing you were thinking about, it must be from God. That doesn't mean that an apparent X across the country drawn by imagination because it didn't actually occur and it never will occur, that in the middle is the fault line that you had a dream about, doesn't mean it's a real connection to what God is saying. So quit throwing straw men around. Nobody said it's a coincidence or not a coincidence. We're saying it's your imagination, because I can make connections to anything. I can connect anything to anything with enough work, with enough imagination. That doesn't mean it's from God. And it's our business to check on that and make sure what you're saying is true.
Now let me say this real quick before I end this broadcast. So here we go. I had no idea that in 1811, in January, at approximately 2:15 in the morning, a magnitude 5 earthquake occurred in Arkansas and was the first of many that would occur.
Had no idea, he says, further trying to strengthen his claim that God is in this, because he didn't know anything about that earthquake in the 1800s, and lo and behold, here he is dreaming about another one in the same area. So he's saying that to further bolster his claim that God is in this. It's supernatural what he is saying. Do you get what he's doing?
Had no idea. And it occurred on the Madrid in Arkansas, 2:15 a.m. Had no idea. And then a couple days ago, I had this dream of a 7.8, almost to the time frame exactly in the wee hours of the morning. that struck the same location in Arkansas. And it just so happens that by doing some research, I discovered that there was a celestial sign in heaven during these massive earthquakes. And here we are coming up on an election cycle, 2024. You have another solar eclipse, which will be historical in America, in the West, and it's going to form an X across. It's going to go straight across the other line of visibility that took place 7 years prior. And
I just want to point out that no, it didn't, take place 7 years prior. It took place about 6.5 years prior. So again, here's my discernment of this man. Those who have discernment, listen to what I am saying. He's waffling to begin with by saying, "Hey, I never said that it's going to take the place on 2024." And I'm not saying that, but those who have discernment can see the times and the signs. Now I'm going to proceed to show you all the things that are all fitting together. And oh my goodness, they couldn't possibly fit together without God being in it. By the way, I run a ministry that I have claimed as part of God's word to people, and I've set myself up established myself as someone who speaks on behalf of the Lord. And there are prophets today, and there's signs and wonders and dreams, and don't you dare tell us otherwise, you mocker, scoffer. So he's got all this set up. And right now my discernment is the man wants attention. He wants you to go, "Wow, that is amazing, bro. What an awesome job. Thank you for sharing that. That's so cool." That's what he wants. He doesn't want you believing him. I know that sounds funny, but no, he doesn't really want people believing him. I'll show you.
And it's going to make an X, and it just so happens that the center of the X is on the New Madrid fault line. So here you have a celestial event, and the New Madrid is put in a bullseye. And again, over 200 years ago, we had the New Madrid that blew, and you had an event in the heavens that was taking place simultaneously. Again, don't you go out there and say, "Well, I heard Brother Ricky say that 2024, the New Madrid fault line is going to blow." Nope, I did not say that, and I will call you a liar because I did.
Sir, then what are you saying? So think about it. Why are you waffling? Did Jeremiah the prophet, who was a prophet, and according to you, there are prophets today. Maybe you're not claiming they're like Jeremiah, but they're still prophets. A prophet of God doesn't waffle. He doesn't say "Well, I may be speaking for God here, but I might not be." So just, see, that's what these guys think they're allowed to do. They think that it's our job to judge whether or not, to have discernment. And to decide and determine on our own whether what they are saying is true. So therefore, now it's on us. They can say whatever they want. Just say whatever you feel like. I had a dream. It must be from God. I'm just going to tell you it's from God. Then I'm going to tell you all these things that all line up and correlate with one another, because clearly that can only happen if God's involved. However, if it doesn't happen, I didn't say it. So, leave me alone. See, he wants all the joy and fun and happiness and glory of coming up with a cool thing like this and telling everybody, and they all go, "Oh, wow, man, that's so cool." He wants all that part, but he doesn't want accountability when it fails. So great message, Ricky. Such a powerful message. Loved that one, didn't he? Look at that. He loves that. Gave me chills. Oh my God, this is what the man lives for. By the way, he probably also makes a living off of this. So, everybody that follows him is giving him the accolades he's after. He doesn't want you to really believe it, though, because if you do and it fails, he's accountable.
Did not say that. What I'm saying is, if you live, let me pull this up. If you live anywhere.
Now listen to this amazing thing he's going to do here. This just blew my mind. Amazing.
In this area, on your screen, you need to be prepared. Guys, I'm in Georgia. And in the dream, I felt it so bad that it was flopping me all over the place. So I couldn't imagine, and I'm further down on that map. I'm in the orange. I'm not even in the red. I could not imagine. And I just gave you a hypothesis of what these experts say would be the outcome if this same event happened again in our lifetime. Right now, they said the results of this would be catastrophic, and that's to say it lightly.
Yeah, okay, so what are you now? An earthquake expert that's here to warn people not to live in those areas? What are you doing now, Ricky? Are you trying to tell me that these people who live in California on the San Andreas Fault, they don't know that? They need you to tell them to be careful. If they live on the, I bet people that live in the fault line in the middle of the country, many of them don't know because it's not, we don't get very many earthquakes there. But are you trying to tell me that now you're just here to tell them, hey, be careful, someday there might be an earthquake? That's not what you said at the beginning of the video and in the title of your video. You said God gave you a dream that it will happen. And all you're doing now is saying, yeah, well, someday an earthquake could happen there. Be careful. That's not the same thing, dude. We already know earthquakes can happen.
So again, how do we prepare for this? If you live anywhere in that area, you need to be aware of this.
They are aware of it. If they're not, okay, fine. Make them aware. Done. You could have come on here with no dream and made them aware. Do you see what he's doing? On the one hand, he needs the attention. He craves attention. So he uses the name of the holy God to set himself up as a prophet to get that attention. Then he says, but really what I'm only saying here is I'm not really predicting. I'm just saying, be careful, an earthquake could happen there. But that's not prophecy. We all know an earthquake could happen in the earthquake zones of the U.S. That's not prophecy. It could be 1,000 years from now. It could be tomorrow. Whatever. That ain't prophecy. We don't need a dream. But you made this whole video around your dream. So what message are you really trying to send? Anybody know? Anybody figure it out? I figured it out. I'm wholeheartedly convinced the guy wants attention. That's it. He doesn't want you to believe him. He doesn't want you to act on it. He doesn't want anybody packing up their belongings and leaving that area and then like sending him a letter. Hey, I moved to Florida and quit my job and changed careers and my kids pulled out of school and actually my wife left me because she really didn't want to. I don't care. You dreamed a dream and I had to act on it because you're from God. You said so. You said God gave you that dream. So I acted on it in faith and I'm in Florida now. Does Ricky want people saying that to him? Hell no. You know why? Because he doesn't want you to believe. He doesn't want you to act in faith. He doesn't want you to actually say, well, yeah, that really is from God. He wants people like me to shut up and let him keep going because this is fun. Well, Ricky, enjoy your fun. I really pray that, you get a little humble and you start asking the Lord if he really, really wants this, if he really is blessing this. All right? Hey, God bless you guys as you seek the truth.